was. Test, test. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check.
Test, test.
Check. Check, 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 check.
Test, 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 test. Nothing yet, Riley?
Check, 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 check.
Check, check.
That sound good?
Yep. Welcome, Rambler fans. Welcome, Rambler fans. 2-2 Glen Lake. What is Glen Lake? Glen Lake Lakers?
Yeah.
Glen Lake Lakers.
You think you might want to come down for a post interview?
Yeah.
Sometime?
Interview,
Yes, definitely.
When?
Yeah, maybe near the end of fourth quarter. Okay. If it's not as exciting as last week.
Glen Lake Lakers 2-2. Point City Ramblers 5-0.
Oh yeah, when you were talking, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I thought the thing maybe a little bit more, not all the time, but just some humor here and there.
Yeah.
Only because probably hearing a lot.
Rambler fans,
But
here are the
Cutler, my God,
2014.
they're telling me sometimes we get so off track. Talk about the game some more, so I think we did a great job doing that.
Ray McCune's in the house. Bringing the rain. Bringing the rain.
Yeah, it's all her fault.
Team BCVI alum. Check, check. Although it does sound good in here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes your voice sound like, yeah. Right on. Glen Lake Lakers. The Lakers.
Rainey, you gonna get in and do some just a quick spot with Dominic?
Between the Glen Lake Lakers and the
job,
Point
Corey.
City Ramblers. Northern Michigan football league. Like to show their support for this
Let's kill that first, I guess.
We understand history so respect and is great. Citizenship in action. We ask you as parents, fans, and officials to make this a positive experience for all involved. Now fans include ride, honor America. Marching band plays our national anthem.
What's happening over there, kid?
Our 3 and 4 cameras are glitching out, and 1 and 2 are set up yet.
Is he on?
No.
Why is this in 3?
Hi, Mrs. Day. Trevor's upstairs. He's all the way frozen. We're back on this TV.
Huh?
This is back on. It was blue screen for a while.
Oh, good.
Is this? It's got to be a water thing. I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah.
Where's Riley at? Okay, why don't you guys go right now? Oh, no, you can't see anything. There's no cameras, we can't see anything.
They're relative, so I can't set it up.
Welcome, folks, to the Rambler Sports Network here in RSN Studios. We are up in the booth here.
I'd like to take this opportunity to
My name is Roger Coates alongside Dominic Santina tonight. If you're joining us right now, wondering where our picture is, we are having a little bit of difficulty with the water, so we'll be tuning in. Ram.
Where are we on out there?
Could you just hear me out there in the PA?
Tonight's matchup, Boyne City Ramblers facing the Glen Lake Lakers. Boyne City Ramblers looking 5-0 on the season, looking to make a 6-0 run. Dominic, that'll get them into the playoffs. We're looking for that big win tonight. Lakers have to win out for the rest of the season for a hope at the playoffs. They're standing at 2-2 right now.
Yeah, Boyne City really trying to build off of that win in overtime last week.
We're getting ready for kickoff tonight. You can see that Ramblers are in blue, Glen Lake in white. Boyne City Ramblers set to kick off tonight for the start of another Rambler Sports Network Friday night football game for you folks at home. Good night to be watching RSN as the rain is coming down steady here. It's been coming down all day, and here we go for kickoff.
Tanner Cruzel kicks it off to Glen Lake.
And we apologize if you're listening at home. We are losing signal here, so we are having difficulty calling what we see, basically just trying to listen in from the field. Tom Clemens on the microphone as always, as he's done so well for many years. We know one thing, that Boyne City's on defense.
That is true. Don't know where.
This is like playing pool in the dark here. Not really sure what's going on out there, even though if we just looked out the window, we'd have a good shot at that. But we're looking at a TV screen here, and
oh, there we go.
And we are back on here.
Looks like someone's down, not sure for who. And there's the stars we talked about last week. I'm sure we're going to call their names again. Number 2, Luke Sage. 12, Max Cooper. 82, Cole Butler. 10, Maceo Vroman. 28, Malik Smith. And everyone else on that defense.
Already a player down for Glen Lake. We'll see here in just a second which number we have, but that obviously happening on the kickoff, their kick return. We're looking at 1st and 10 for the Lakers, so unfortunately we did not see what happened. We have a special homecoming presentation brought to you tonight. Tonight is homecoming, and we will be honoring all of the homecoming court, also honoring staff members who have been selected because of the difference that they've made in each of the lives of the homecoming court members. So they'll be honored tonight as they walk on the field. That'll be during our halftime show. And folks who have been a part of the homecoming ceremonies for years know that the king ceremony is tomorrow night at the homecoming dance.
Looks like the player for Glen Lake is now getting up. Number 45, Jonah Wilson.
Jonah Wilson, a senior, weighing in at 240 pounds. So a big loss there. Tight end and defensive end.
Looks like maybe something there to his right leg. Getting some help off the field from some coaches and medical staff.
All right, so the black and white are going to call the official start to this first series from Glen Lake. Be 1st and 10, looking at Glen Lake's 25-yard line. And here we go, folks. Let's see if our defense can match what this offense has done so far this year.
And there's a penalty, and we talked about it last week. Lots of penalties for both sides, Traverse City, St. Francis, and Boyne City. This time it's going to be on Glen Lake. looks like a false start.
Number of penalties, as you mentioned, Dominic. And, boy, if you read the paper this week, Coach Hills was not very happy with the number of penalties, even though we did squeak out a win. Very disappointed in that and have plenty of things to work on to clean that up. Matter of fact, that's what they did all week in practice, to clean those penalty options up.
It's going to be a pass. No, it's going to be a keep. And he breaks one tackle. Fumble! Max Cooper has it. He'll pick it up. 10-5, touchdown Ramblers.
Just like that, second play of the game. Number 7 from the Lakers, Travis Wilcher drops the ball. Max Cooper heads up play, picks it up for about a 20-yard run in for a touchdown.
And a big start for this defense, who last week let up that scoreless streak, but looks like they're not going to be denied here this week in big play.
And Rambler Sports Network here to bring you the replay in just a moment. We're going to see if Coach Hills goes for 2 or goes for 1. That was the significant play last week as we went for 2, but here it is. You're looking at Travis Wilcher hanging that ball out there.
Little slippery, like we said, raining all day. And nice play. I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
Getting the hand in there to punch it out, and Max Cooper there scooping and scoring. What is this? Little confusion, and Mac Alexander is brought down at about the 12-yard line. No good.
That did not look like a designed keeper for sure. It looked like perhaps, as you mentioned, Dominic, a slippery ball tonight as the rain just keeps coming down. Mac just keeping it. You can see the way Dalton Gardner just backed off of that and the way he's talking to Coach Hills right now, that obviously was not the intention.
Looked like Dalton was going to kick it there, and then Mac didn't have the right hold, and they weren't really sure what to do with the ball, and Mac ended up just keeping it himself.
Hey, nonetheless, Boyne City Ramblers 6 points on the board, put up by their defense. There you're looking at our scoreboard here, 11 minutes and 38 seconds left in the first quarter. I mean, we basically started this game. Glen Lake was 2 plays in before Wilcher fumbles. And our quarterback, Max Cooper, picks it up for a score.
Tanner Cruzel will kick off for the Ramblers.
Glen Lake doing a lot of traveling in the last 2 weeks. They went all the way up to the UP last week into the Superior Dome. They came away with a big loss. And again, traveling up to Boyne City tonight for our homecoming game. And here we are set to kick off again. 2 kickoffs in less than 2 minutes.
And Tanner Cruzel kicks a high, deep one. Back to number 5, Mark Ewing. And he is brought down by, look who it is, Tanner Cruzel.
Tanner kicks the ball. And immaculately, I don't know how he does it, kicks it, then runs down and makes the play.
He was the first one there. Beat everybody down the field.
I saw that, Dominic, 3 times against that home game versus Charlevoix. And the kicking team made a few adjustments, asking Tanner, please hang back a little bit. Let your gunners run down and make that play. But, hey, if he's going to get down there and make that play, I'd say do it. Kick that ball, run down there and make the tackle, Tanner.
Glen Lake deep in their own territory at the 15-yard line. And Whittaker is going to keep it again. Far side, gain of 3 or 4. And pursuit to the football there. Tanner, Mac, Maceo, and Luke.
And also Connor Beebe in on the action there too. We talked about that a lot last week. Hustle to the ball, and you can still see it here. And if this keeps up, this defensive scheme that these boys are putting a show on every week, just watching the continuous effort, getting to that ball, making the play, wrapping the ball up, and then there's 3 or 4 guys there before you know it, making everything come down.
Wilcher will hand off this time, and met in the hole by number 2, Luke Sage. That'll bring up 3rd down for the Ramblers. Max, I think there might be another fumble on the play. Ramblers have it, and 2 turnovers.
You saw Luke Sage pop it in the hole there, and also Max Cooper coming in to clean that up, finish it off, and obviously in the middle of all that action, ball pops out again. Slippery ball tonight.
Not the way Glen Lake wanted to start it at all. In about 3-4 plays, 2 turnovers.
Working in our favor, too. Can't beat that. So Boyne City will take their first offensive play of the night, coming over on a turnover. 1st and 10 on about the 19-yard line.
Timeout, Glen Lake.
You can hear our new device, Parabolic Ear. We can hear the coach from way on the other side, Coach Angers, showing a bit of a frustration trying to get his players to call that timeout there. Coach Angers has a son on the team, 13, Duke Angers, one of their running backs, a sophomore, 230 pounds. And I hear he's a pure athlete, Dominic. We'll see some action from him. Keep an eye out for number 13 tonight.
Here's a replay of that hit. Luke Sage, Max Cooper, hit him in the hole, and look at that. There it is. It comes out, and Boyne City's there to recover the fumble.
Nice job from our replay crew. That's Corey Redmond there getting a sneak peek on what we apparently missed the first time, but with that slow motion replay, able to bring you that right to your living room and right here in front of us in the studio for a good close-up view of that fumble.
Max Cooper under center. He'll hand off to Malik, who is hit and brought down after a game of about 5. Bring up 2nd down.
That's David Grisbinick, senior.
And it's good to see Malik getting snaps here early again in this game. Every week I know he's feeling better with that ankle, and we saw him play more last week, maybe a few more here this week.
And Dom, you saw firsthand, too, a few more talents from Malik, huh? A little rap battle going on today.
Yeah, today we had the activity day, and Malik put on a good show against one of our own VI guys, Riley, and it was fun to listen to and watch. Macy will take the carry and is tackled by a host of Lakers. Will bring up what I believe is 3rd down.
Not often do you see Maceo Vroman take a turn on the inside, but that time he did. Met with a host of Lakers, but you know where he is very special is when he burns it around that outside edge. And I believe we can beat this team from what I'm seeing around that outside.
Here's a pitch to Malik. He's got the 1st down and a little bit more. Runs him over into the end zone.
There it is.
Touchdown, Ramblers. Ooh.
There's that outside I was talking about there. And number 5, all out there by himself. Mac Ewing could not bring down Malik all by himself. And there's that perimeter run, that burst of speed, that burst of power. You're not going to tackle Malik standing up like that.
And that just shows you how much better he's getting that speed. And, man, it's been a long time since Malik's found the end zone. I think it's the Charlevoix game is the last time he found it.
Good for Malik. Awesome day for him. Starting out, first offensive touchdown in several weeks. That puts the Boyne City Ramblers up 12-0. We have, looks like, a 2-point conversion coming out, trying to get that extra point back from the first.
Malik Smith's helmet was broken there, so James Roberson will get the snap at halfback. But there's Maceo. And just like against St. Francis, this time a little easier, not as dramatic. He walks into the end zone, and it's 14-0.
4 times. And in those 4 meetings, Boyne City has not put up a win against this Glen Lake team. So 14-0, things are looking good. Hopefully, this is how we started out last week, Dominic, and we took a turn in the second half, but not a flag yet from Boyne City, so it looks like things have cleaned up. Maybe we can maintain quite a lead here. You're going to get a 14-0 spot in the first quarter with 9 minutes left. That's almost a gift to the Ramblers.
I talked to many players this week about that Traverse City St. Francis game, and as we said, they said as well, it was 2 completely different teams, all Boyne City first half, all Traverse City St. Francis second half, and we were able to pull it out in overtime.
Came down to 8 plays in overtime, their 4 versus our 4, and that was the difference in the game.
Boyne City trying to make history 2 weeks in a row, as we said, trying to beat Glen Lake, and they beat Traverse City St. Francis for the first 3 times in a row for the first time in school history.
Amazing, and people talking about that game all week long. Everyone's still walking around with smiles on our face, and luckily, thanks to this team and this production, everyone had a chance to rewatch that game several times. I know I did.
I did a couple times as well. Tanner Cruzel will kick off for the 3rd time this first quarter. And let's see if he beats everyone, maybe taking a little easier here, trying to get down the field. 24 to the outside, and he's got a little room to run, but Mac Alexander is there and brings him down at the 31-yard line.
That's Hunter Gushurst with what may be about a 15-yard return. Close to it.
He didn't have much speed there as some of the kick returners, but great blocking led him to get those 15 to 16 yards on the return. Here, Mac Alexander there at linebacker calling out some changes.
Our defense getting a lot of play here in this first quarter.
Handoff and is brought down by number 2, Luke Sage, 12, Cole Butler, and that defensive line.
Kevin Crandall, thanks for tuning in again. You're still overseas, it looks like. Thanks for tweeting out to us. And we're certainly glad we can bring this game to you. Hope everything's going well, and you can see a great view as we started out tonight with a few technical difficulties, but I think we've got things taken care of.
Second down and 8, Wilcher under center. He'll keep it himself, go up the middle, gets a push from some blockers, and is brought down. Looks like a third down.
You can see the ref drying the ball off. He's got his dry towel there. As if you're just tuning in, those 14 points are coming off of 2 Laker turnovers early in the first quarter, way deep in their own territory. So Rambler getting very good field position on that second turnover and punching that in for a 14-0 start.
Wilcher under center. He'll hand off and is stopped by Luke Sage and Tanner Cruzel, and the help brings up fourth down.
Where does he come from, Dominic? I mean, the kid's playing linebacker, and he's in the hole before the linemen are.
He's just filling the gap and reading and reacting, as you'll see here. Finds a hole and beats the running back there. And you can see he just, every tackle, he's got so much energy, and they all are all pumped up after that win last week.
Every offensive lineman for the Lakers are taking on their assignment right in front of them. And like you said, Luke Sage just finding that open gap. And somehow just amazing reads on that ball carrier.
So this time the Lakers did not get a turnover, but looks like they're going to have to punt it away. And we know who's back deep. Number 10, Maceo Vroman, and number 4, Dalton Gardner.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. You know, last week St. Francis's strategy was to keep it away from, well, starting out they kept it away from Vroman, and then later in the game they kept it away from Gardner too by just kicking it out of bounds.
This does not look like it's going out of bounds, but not short enough for them to get to it. So
Vroman calling the safe play just to stay away, and we'll start at the 35-yard line. So far, Ramblers looking really good on defense. That would be 3 consecutive stops, 2 fumbles, 1 fourth and a couple had to punt it away. And the Ramblers look like they're going to take a timeout. And we're going to take a very short break here, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Rambler Sports Network, Football Friday Night.
Why do I like to live Boyne?
Why I like to live Boyne? Why am I proud to live Boyne?
I like to live Boyne because the entire community supports the athletics here. We have one of the loudest student sections in northern Michigan. It's awesome to play in that type of atmosphere. Thank you and keep it up, Boyne City. My name is Cole Butler, and I am a basketball and football student athlete here at Boyne City High School. Why do I like to live Boyne?
Why I like to live Boyne? Why am I proud to live Boyne?
I am proud to live Boyne because of the way that the high school athletes treat and help younger kids in our town. When I was younger, it meant a lot to me to be helped and included by the varsity athletes. And now, I am proud to take them under my wing and make a difference in their lives. I know these kids I help will someday grow up and do the same. The tradition will continue. That is a good feeling. My name is Corey Redmond. I play basketball and football here at Boyne City High School.
And we're back on the Rambler Sports Network.
Malik Smith takes the carry from Max Cooper, rumbles for a gain about 8. We'll bring up second down in about 2.
And just a word from MHSAA, nothing beats good sportsmanship. a great game in sports is when your team puts it all together, but it's not just how you execute as an athlete, it's how you execute as a person. It's showing good reflexes and respect and character. Now that's a great game. Nothing beats good sportsmanship. That's a message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting values and educational athletics.
Max Cooper under center again. He'll hand off to Malik again.
Huge gaping hole in that front line.
And he runs over another defender and will give the Ramblers a first down across midfield into Glen Lake territory again.
Where in the world did that nose tackle go? No tackles there, no nose tackle. Malik just had a gaping hole to punch through, getting second into the secondary almost.
I'd have to say he's feeling better because I've seen more speed
so.
this week than last week. And we also had a pretty good opponent, though, in Traverse City St. Francis. Not taking anything away from Glen Lake, but that was a tough game. Maceo Vroman on the carry. He's got speed, and there he goes. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Maceo Vroman.
You're not going to catch that, folks. Our cameras can barely keep up with that. That's amazing. Now we know why he cuts it to the inside like he did. It looks like the same play design. Look at that block by number 2, Luke Sage, blocking out Wilcher on the inside. He gets a cut in the middle.
Then that breakaway speed just goes to town, and we didn't see him except on that overtime play last week really have much to do, but he comes back this week, and that's number 12 on the season for Maceo Vroman.
Amazing. That's just good executed blocks. Maceo finding the hole. Closest guy to him, number 22, Jacob Robinson, junior from Glen Lake. Maybe with another 50 yards, had a chance, but.
How about that? Dalton Gardner back on track this week. That's got to be a big confidence boost. Put one through, and it's 21-0 Boyne City.
All right, and just like that, we're still in the first quarter, not even down to the 5-minute mark. Boyne City putting up 3 touchdowns, 2 of them coming off turnovers from the Glen Lake, early fumbles in the game. That might change as the rain looks like it's slowing down a bit. But Ramblers doing an amazing job holding on to the football themselves. Not a mistake yet.
And they look back to the way they started the season off. Big wins over East Jordan and Charlevoix, Harbor, all 40-point scores. And looks like they're starting off this way again this week.
Yeah, defense so far doing an outstanding job shutting down the offensive threat of Glen Lake. They have some big athletes out there. Wilcher putting up 122 yards last week on the ground all by himself. And so far from what I've seen, our defense is putting on quite a show.
There's the student section. Saw them last week. They're back strong again this week, battling the rain and hoping that Boyne City can make the playoffs once again this year.
And if you're listening at home, just tuning in and wondering who is this on my side, it's Dominic Santina, himself a student, a junior here. And Dominic, you guys had quite a day today. All those students, yourself, celebrating Spirit Week coming to an end. Hopefully we can hear a couple stories throughout the broadcast.
Yes, it was a great day being able to beat the seniors. Not many times do juniors or any other classmen be able to beat the seniors. First time in 8 years.
Awesome. So another stat for Dominic, who's made his debut on RSN and then now bringing home a trophy for the juniors this year. No difficulties on our scoreboard, folks. You are seeing the real score. 21-0 is accurate. 5 minutes, 42 seconds left before the first quarter.
Marco Wing takes the kickoff from Tanner Cruzel again. Zach Bears on the tackle, and I know there was some help, but we couldn't see him right there. And it'll bring up first and down and 10 for the Lakers.
Earlier tonight, before the game began, our cross-country team did a few miles all the way from Lake Louise, bringing in tonight's game ball. So we'll talk a little bit about that later in the broadcast. And then a very special inductee to our Hall of Fame alum for Boyne City. We'll talk about that as well.
Handoff up the middle and brought down, looks like number 12, Max Cooper on the tackle. Carried by number 13, Duke Angers. And you said earlier we're going to hear his name, I guess, a lot tonight.
Yeah, he looks like their big fullback, just punching it up the middle. It looks like that kid can probably get 3 yards falling down with the mass that he's carrying.
That's what about it looked like right there, as it'll bring up about 2nd and 5.
Duke Anger's out right now, but we have Wilcher under center.
Pass. There's a flag on the play.
I'm guessing illegal motion, as we saw 23 shifting still before the snap. Little stat there, Malik Smith, 4 carries tonight, 30 yards on the ground already, and add that a touchdown as well.
That catch was number 23, Tony Duperon. And this looks like it'll be on Glen Lake. So lucky for Boyne City, looks like we're not having as many penalties to start off the game as last week.
That's good news. So a well-coached team all around. Coach Hill saw an improvement area to work on. Last week, his brother telling on him to his mom, his mom, you better get on to Coach Hills. Tell him about those flags. Apparently it worked. Coach Hills and the team worked on that all week, cleaned up their special teams, and so far tonight it's paid off.
I think me and you agreed somewhere between 25 to 30 flags between the two teams, and the refs were calling everything and anything.
Unheard of. Wilcher on the keeper.
Brought down by that pursuit of Ramblers. Max Cooper, Will Callow, Tanner Cruzel, Dalton Gardner, Luke Sage.
Isn't that funny? Whenever we make a tackle, we're saying like 4 or 5 names at a time.
That's just good. Like we said last week, good pursuit of the football. And it's happened all season. That's why they haven't allowed many points. Third down and about 7 for the Lakers. Wilcher under center. He'll hand off. And brought down there. You see Luke Sage at the end, but Malik Smith and Mac Alexander.
That was Jacob Robinson. Called his name earlier. I mentioned he was the closest to Vroman on that touchdown run. Probably the best run of the night, about a 6-yard pickup. Brings up a 4th down and about 2.
And if they decide to punt here, that's 4 straight drives. I don't even think they've got a first down yet. The defense holding strong, 2 turnovers, and now maybe 2 punts to start off the game. We still have 3.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
No, I believe you're right, Dominic. Not a first down yet from Glen Lake. Instead, a couple flags, a couple turnovers.
Wilcher under center, but now what do we got here?
Everyone looking to the sideline at our bench. I wonder if it's a timeout.
A penalty on Glen Lake. So that's going to hurt, and I bet you this changes their decision here. That was going to be a close play. Maybe Wilcher would have kept it, but now it brings up about 4th and 7.
Glen Lake really starting this game out, shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, this should be a 7-0 ball game, but now they're looking at another punt deep into their territory. Not going well for them tonight so far starting out.
The snap, the punt. This one is going towards Maceo. He'll was going to fair catch it. Now picks it up off the bounce. He's got room to run. There's a flag and another flag.
And Dominic, I think they're going to call that flag because he did fair catch signal.
And then picked
then
it
returned
up.
it.
I think you are right. That is probably what it was. I saw his hand wave in the air to fair catch it. Looked a little shorter than he thought and then decided to go ahead and return.
Did get a good roll, bounced right to him, and then on second thoughts picked it up and wanted to go with it. But I believe already fair catching that, calling that signal.
That's what it was. So not necessarily a penalty. I mean, that's Maceo was just thinking, trying to make room for the team, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that's like a costly penalty. It may turn out to be, but not as big as all the illegal shifts and false starts from last week.
Sure, that's just the competitor trying to come out of the game there.
Well, you know how much Maceo's returned kickoffs and punts this season, so he was looking for the end zone one more time.
And he's got to be just itching for one because a lot of teams have decided to kick it away from him. You can see the 2 punts tonight have been short in front of him. So he's just dying to just catch one clean and make a run for it.
I think he saw a little hole there and his eyes lit up. That speed he has, I think he was looking to try to take it back. Max Cooper under center, and he's got both Maceo and Malik Smith behind him. Little different offense here for the Ramblers. Mac Alexander to his left, Maceo in motion, and there he goes. He's got blockers.
And that outside is
got
vulnerable.
room to run. 40, 30, 20, cut back.
What a move.
Another cutback and is brought down. It'll bring up first and goal for the Ramblers. You can see how slippery it is there. Tried to make another cutback and slipped and fell. But another big run for Maceo Roman.
Dominic, I think, I'm not even coaching down there, but I've seen the weakness on this Glen Lake defense. Their perimeter is getting beat up. We're blocking. We're beating them with pure speed. I mean, Coach, just give the ball to Maceo and run to the left every time. We've got to play there.
Or anybody. Pitch it to Malik, give it to Mac, anybody. They all got speed, and I think that's going to be their weakness, and I think it won't take long. Hills has seen it twice now. I think he's figured it out. He'll go to it to the outside more. Fumble on the Ramblers, and Glen Lake's got it. Looks like it was Malik Smith who we saw fumble a couple of times last week. But not a turnover kind of big there for first down and goal, but slippery ball, as we said earlier, and unfortunately maybe we couldn't see it, but handoff, maybe Malik couldn't handle it or whatever it was.
Still, nonetheless, a turnover for the Ramblers. That brings up 3 turnovers on the game. You can see with our camera point of view there. Rain coming down again, pretty heavy. So might see a few more before the game's over.
And I think with all this rain, how slippery the ball is, we will very rarely see. Oh, fumble!
Another fumble. This time, Glen Lake.
It.
Ball comes back to Boyne City. It appears a little dog pile here going on.
I think Mac Alexander has it, and he does. And you can see how pumped up he is.
I got the ball, Coach. I got the ball.
Drops his mouth guard. And I believe that was Wiltshire again, second fumble of the game. Like I was going to say, I think passing might be out of the option here. The ball's a little slippery. You don't see many teams.
Take a look. That's Angers. And, boy, Corey, if we could go back a little bit, do a little John Madden rewind there, I can see that someone from our defense got a hand in on that. Was that Cole Butler?
Max Cooper again.
Max Cooper with a little uppercut there and strips the ball out, coming back down with that right hand. Heads up play, Max Cooper. Knew he couldn't make the tackle, but that strong right arm.
Oh, how about this pass? Max takes a shot. Incomplete to number 43, Tanner Cruzel, who we saw Max hook up with a couple of times last week.
Gosh, I was just talking about that strong right arm. How cool would it have been just to say, yeah, now he throws a touchdown with that right arm.
And, man, Max is not afraid to stand in there and take shots. We saw him almost take one there in overtime last week, and they're not afraid at all. Stood in there and threw a pass to Tanner and took a shot.
Yeah, I like that call there. Going for a little punch in there with a deep ball thrown. Good call, Coach. Defense
Cooper
showing blitz.
Cooper under center and handoff to Malik, tripped up by the defense. They got through that line. It'll bring up third down in about 10 or 11.
And I think with a little more experience, Max Cooper would have seen that blitz coming, would have probably called an audible, maybe a pitch back to Malik instead around the outside, but stayed with the call, went up the middle, and nothing happening there for the Ramblers.
Like you said, Max Cooper having to come in this year, learning as he goes.
Hey, Spooksman coming in. All the way from Ypsilanti. Thanks you, Alex, for your tweet.
And there he is, Cooper to Tanner Cruzel with the reception. Still going to bring up, I think, fourth down.
Alex always witty with the word choice, and he's celebrating his Twitter coming. Miss you, Squeaky. Keep the tweets coming, please, everyone. It's a homecoming special tonight. There are many activities planned for halftime as we are going to celebrate a number of things tonight. A special presentation from Mrs. Clausen reaching out to last year's homecoming king. So you want to stay tuned for that for sure.
How about this? Fourth down and about 4 or 5, and they're going to go for it. And here we go, maybe a flag on Boyne City now.
Yeah, Glen Lake showing maybe the clock ran out, or did we call a timeout in time?
Carter Wilmot there asking a couple questions to Coach Hills.
Definitely showing a blitz. I can hear that too, Carter. So you can hear Coach Hills talking about 22, Jacob Robinson. He's the guy with the speed on the Lakers team. He's the guy that was pursuing Vroman for that breakaway touchdown early in the first quarter. 3 Glen Lake fumbles so far, not to mention 1 from the Ramblers, but we got it right back. And Maceo, 3 carries for over 100 yards already.
That's just no surprise. That's how he's been all season long. Not many carries, a lot of yards, and to add 12 touchdowns.
And we're still in the first quarter.
Yeah. Could be some pretty big stats by the end of the game.
So earlier before the broadcast came on, if you were home, you missed Tom Needhammer being inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. If you came into the high school at any time in the back cafeteria, you would see a whole number of names on the wall. It's called our Wall of Fame, alumni from Boyne City. Tom, our latest recipient. We're hoping to get him in here in the booth for an interview later on tonight. Tom takes stats upstairs for our team, so he's not very far away. We'll see if we can get him on set.
They're still going to go for it here, and it looks like it was a timeout, not a penalty on Boyne City. He pitched to Malik, as you said, outside. He's got to find room. He's going to stay on his feet and is knocked down inside the 5-yard line. Little backpedaling there, but it's a 1st and goal for the Ramblers.
Excellent blocking. You see that around the outside edge again, taking the weak side over there, short side of the field. Just check out the blocking from Tanner Crizel, number 54. I believe that's Will Callow.
Yes, it is.
Nice blocking. Spring and Malik out for a 1st down for the Ramblers.
Like we said, that weakness to the outside helped the Ramblers pick up the 1st down. Cooper sends Maceo in motion, but hands off to Malik. Up the middle, bowls through 3 guys. Touchdown, Ramblers. You heard it from the sideline first.
He's in. Love the way Malik just lowers that shoulder, and he's going to make you pay. If you're going to try to bring him down, watch this again. 2 guys right in his sights. Boom, lowers the shoulder, and he's bringing them in the end zone with him.
His 2nd touchdown of the game, and I think that ankle's fine.
I believe it's going to be a non-issue as we get deeper into this conference matchup.
6 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, and the Ramblers trying to take a 28-0 lead.
Gardner set to kick for the extra point. Signal is good.
Good for Dalton Gardner. Struggled a little bit last week, and this week coming back so far 2 for 2. Good job, Dalton.
Boyne City Ramblers putting up 28 points in the first quarter. Amazing. The rain's coming down. We have a lot more action. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back on the Rambler Sports Network, folks. We'll see you in just a bit.
High school football game night is a unique experience, uniting a community in so many ways and showcasing other school activities. This grand setting helps kids learn life skills and build lifetime relationships in the safest environment ever, where teacher coaches, equipment, rules, and safety protocols minimize risks. It's a true celebration of participation. Support your local school and its young people who enjoy this privilege.
Sports Network, where you can see that the rain is coming down pretty heavy, and in a moment we're going to get a few sponsors that we're going to bring up here on the screen. A couple sponsors sponsoring our Rambler Sports Network broadcast from the team BCVI.
Man, I don't ever remember this. Tanner Crizel will kick off for his 5th time this quarter.
Amazing. Let's see if he makes this tackle too. That's what he's been good at. Watch Tanner Crizel, number 43. See if he gets in the screen here and does something again.
Oh, he's got room to run, but is brought down. Look who it is.
Was it Tanner?
It's either Tanner or Dalton. Not sure.
Yeah,
it was Dalton
Gardner on the tackle. Nice job, Gardner. If Gardner wasn't there, who knows? That could have been Glen Lake's first score.
And I believe that'll end the first quarter. Ramblers lead 28-0 over the Glen Lake Lakers.
Rain's coming down pretty steady. We've got cameras all over the place, having a little bit of issue. We got umbrellas covering those cameras all over the place. You're looking at Coach Hills here coaching on the field a little bit, telling his guys, hey, can't let him get through like that. You guys were there. Wrap him up, get that team tackle on there. You know, that's the special teams that Coach was talking about in the newspaper this week. Getting better at that.
Well, you know, we talk about Tanner Cruzel flying downfield. I think Hills would have rather him stay back in case that did break. He would have been the last man, and Tanner always delivers a big hit.
Sure. Love watching those hits. I love watching those touchdown receptions even more.
Big one in overtime last week.
You're looking at us going into the second quarter here, and that is pure rain coming down on the field, where it has been a huge difference maker tonight. It's almost, what would we say, the 12th man?
Yeah.
As we've seen 4 turnovers tonight in this game in the first quarter.
3 on Glen Lake, 1 on us. And there's a tackle. Once again, host the Ramblers. Connor Beebe, Tanner Cruzel, Max Cooper. And like we say, 4 or 5 guys every tackle.
No gain on that play. You can see everybody on the sideline trying to huddle up, getting those raincoats on. It's going to be a wet night, Rambler fans.
Been raining for the last couple days.
We've got Wilcher under center.
He'll hand off. Gain of about 4. Bring up 3rd down.
And that was number 27, new running back there, Andrew Lindeman, carrying the ball there. Andrew, a senior for the Glen Lake Lakers.
He comes off the field. And it looks like Duke Angers will replace him.
All right, we have our very own Boyne City Public School tweeting in. Give us a woot, woot, touchdown. Yeah, we want to hear that boom go one more time. And I agree, Team BCVI doing an excellent job again in this crazy weather. Still putting on a show for you at home. Much thanks to their effort and their dedication for what they do.
Like I said earlier, with this rain, I wouldn't expect to pass much, but Wilcher dropped back there, and with how wet that ball is in and out of the hands of the receiver, it'll bring up 4th down and 6, and it looks like another punt for Glen Lake. Ooh, bad snap. He'll still get the punt off.
Boy, our camera angle wasn't wide enough, and I thought Wilcher.
Oh, Dalton. Let that one go, and it's down to the 2-yard line, maybe 1, 1st and 10 Ramblers.
All right, actually worked out in Glen Lake's favor, as I'm watching Wilcher just watch the ball go by and hit the ground, and obviously he knew his kicker was back there, picked it up, kicks the ball, makes a nice block too before his kicker gets taken down, and Glen Lake taking that down to the 2-yard line.
Dalton, I think, thought that was going to roll into the end zone, and unfortunately just came 2 yards short. Will pin the Ramblers deep in their territory, but like we said, get to the outside, and it looks like that's their weakness, and maybe can get them out of this.
Well, you've been down in that field, Dominic. That Kirk Kajeski keeps that field in tip-top shape. That grass is thick, and that ball, you think it's going to roll, but the grass being so thick and well taken care of just doesn't roll that well, especially, I imagine, in that rain that's coming down.
Dalton Gardner now in for Mac Alexander. He goes in motion. Max Cooper will keep it himself, trying to stay out of the safety, and gain of 1, maybe no gain. Bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Ramblers.
37 there in on the play for the Lakers. And also Duke Angers playing the little linebacker, making the stop. A little bit of rain out there. You can hear our camera crews there feeling a little bit of that weather. We got Mary down on the field with her ear.
Malik Smith trying to find some room. This time he gets brought down, but it's going to be good enough for a Rambler first down. Not using all that speed, just trying to find where to go. And it's 1st and 10. Max Cooper giving the play call to the Ramblers as they come out of the huddle. Looks like maybe a sneak. Nope. He's going to Maceo. And there, maybe making some adjustments, wraps them up after a gain of 3.
Wilcher with a nice tackle there. Andrew Lindemann also coming in for that stop on Vroman.
Thought maybe Max was going to go to a sneak there as he tapped Carter Wilmot on the right side, but pitched to Maceo, and looks like maybe Glenn Lake says, Maceo, not again, we're going to stop you.
And that rain instantly coming to a halt, so we've got a break in the weather here. Our cameras getting a bird's eye view here from our crow's nest.
This is to Malik Smith up the middle. Hits 1 or 2 guys and is brought down. Bring up 3rd and 2.
As I mentioned earlier, lots of rain, lots of umbrellas, and we're trying to keep our equipment here on set dry as much as we can. And we apologize for the periodic umbrella in the view. But, you know, what can you do with this kind of rain, this kind of weather? We do want to keep our equipment as safe as possible and make sure we continue bringing this wonderful broadcast to you, which I was listening to the ESPN radio, which I typically do when I come into these games. They start at 6 o'clock, and those two gentlemen talking us up, talking about RSN and how amazing we're bringing this broadcast into the living rooms of folks at home, and even across seas to folks like Nino over in Germany, folks like Mr. Crandall over in Iraq. So amazing job to our team here.
Malik Smith's run was good enough for a first down, but a penalty, looks like the first one on the Ramblers today, will make it 1st down and 15.
Yeah, first offensive penalty tonight, so Coach Hill's making it an effort to work on that during the week at practice, and so far we've seen a much cleaner game from the Ramblers this week than we did last week against the Gladiators. Max Cooper coming in with the call. Looking at a 1st and 15 with just over 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
Malik Smith will get the handoff from Max Cooper up the middle, gain of about 2. And my question is I haven't seen Mac Alexander in there in a few plays. I wonder if he's hurt or something. I've seen Dalton Gardner in there in a spot.
Yeah, the only sign I saw, Dominic, was when he came off of that fumble. He was on the bottom of that pile, and he did lose his mouthpiece, so good observation. We'll have to stay tuned, see if he can catch number 5 out on the field anytime.
It is 28-0, so maybe Hill's giving some of those guys that play all the time a break. We saw it earlier this season when they ran up the score against Charlevoix and East Jordan, so maybe just trying some different stuff.
Pitch over to Maceo on the left side. He's got a little room to run. Nice blocks again.
Dalton Gardner on that block, and I believe, if not, it's going to be close to a first down for the Ramblers. I think it'll actually bring up 3rd down.
Take a look at this replay. Number 54 getting through that line, but not able to catch up to Vroman. And I want to watch number 13 there. Vroman already out of bounds, but Duke Angers maybe showing a little frustration and laying on top of him, pushing him out a little further.
Maceo showing Dalton where he wanted to go there, pushing him into his block.
So Gardner set, got the handoff. And he lowers his shoulder.
Looks like, I think, but to me it looks like he's got the first down, but it's going to be close. First down, Ramblers.
You'll see Gardner on the sidelines during our halftime ceremony as one of our court members tonight, celebrating his senior year, along with many others that you'll see. We'll bring that broadcast to you. And also a very special thing that we do here at Boyne City is those players that walk on the field will be honoring one of their former teachers as well.
Max Cooper drops back. Standing in there, throwing a pat. No, he's going to be sacked. So we talked about him standing in there and taking hits.
Looks like he had Cole Butler open. If you look down into the bottom of your screen, we're going to get a replay on what happened in the pocket there.
Not good pass blocking. Max likes to stand in there and deliver passes, but I don't think he had enough time to let that one go, and looks like it's maybe taking a little toll on him there.
You can see Cole Butler, our 6'3" tight end, coming across underneath the middle. Looked like he had an opportunity. You and I both thought he was going to let that go. I think he had his guy beat.
Looks like a little hustle-up offense here for the Ramblers. Max Cooper telling him to hustle up to the line. This time to Malik Smith. He lowers his shoulder, but is stuffed and put on his back.
That's Christian Sturzer on the tackle, along with Duke Angers coming in there.
And I'm not sure who it was, but good sportsmanship by Glen Lake. They knocked Malik down, but are the first people to help him up.
That is great sportsmanship. You'd like to see that with opposing teams, definitely. Interconference play tonight. Glen Lake looking to improve in the conference. Interesting, if Glen Lake does happen to win, it would make a four-way tie in our conference.
Wow. 3rd and long. Max bobbles the snap. Now he's going to have to take it himself. Has nowhere to go. Gets it within 10. 4th down. Max doesn't look like he's very happy with his protection. And I believe here with a 28-point lead, you'll see Dalton punt this one away.
Yeah, I saw 3 receivers going out on that play. It was an all-out pass play, but as you mentioned earlier, that line's got to give Max a little bit more time. Cooper looking to drop that into the hands of one of those receivers, but got to have a little time to do that.
Dalton will punt it away from the Ramblers. Good punt by Dalton. Not going to return it. It's out of bounds. And look who was down there, Tanner Cruzel.
But you want to see this. You want to see these Glen Lake Lakers not stopping. They are just continuously trying to stay in this game. And I believe we are going to take a short little stint about checking out our players and one of the things that they did this week early on today. So let's take a look here on how they celebrated homecoming. We'll be right back to the game here in a minute.
Deep pass. Oh, thought Malik might have had it there. Looked like he did until he tried to get up with it.
So earlier today, tradition tells the high school players, that, hey, we ought to get down there to the elementary school down at the lower L of the building and see some of those kindergartners and get them pepped up about football. Let them meet these football players, these athletes who look like superheroes to them. They're standing in there at 6'3", and they get their pads on and their jerseys on, and it's an incredible experience for these kindergartners. And lots of thanks to the kindergarten staff who allows that to happen, and they make a good fun day out of that.
Wilcher will scramble, be brought down, 3rd down and about 7. Looking to pass, had no one to go to, scrambled out of the pocket and is brought down.
I was just interested in what Autumn Vesbuskas was doing with that kindergartner. It looked like she was trying to paralyze him with a chokehold or something.
I remember when I was in elementary school,
Check
they
that
always
out.
brought the pads in and put them on.
Got another tweet in from Maston's first graders, Rambler football. You can get 10 yards lots of ways. Yeah, you can, Aaron. We've been learning that in first grade. 1 + 9, 2 + 8.
Wilcher scrambling again. He breaks a tackle. There is a flag on the play. He is going to be brought down. Looked like Tanner Cruzel almost had him in the backfield. That one time is brought down by Mac Alexander, so we'll have to see what the flag is. I'm guessing maybe a hold for how long Wilcher had to scramble.
Take a look at this replay here as
false start, I believe. That number 13 started a little early.
Well, Mrs. Maston, you're also going to have to teach some of your first graders that we can get first down in 4 downs. You can do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That gets you a first down also. Little more addition skills for our first graders here at Boyne City Elementary School. So a very traditional week. Another tradition that we do, Dominic, here is really you guys take the day off today. Not much academics going on as you get into the gym and have just a day-long pep rally, and everyone's competing against the other classes and just making a great day of it.
Yep. It's freshmen versus sophomores and juniors and seniors. Fumble.
Got a fumble on the play, picked up by Will Callow.
No, I believe that is Connor Beebe.
Sorry, Connor Beebe.
4th fumble for Glen Lake, and that one again deep in their territory.
Any coach will tell you, you are not going to win a football game turning the ball over 4 different times. Tony Cutler, I agree. Boyne is tough. And, Tony, we sure miss you here in the studio. Especially, I remember last year you walking with our homecoming king on the field as he honored you as one of the staff that he looks up to. I remember that night as if it was yesterday.
Max Cooper drops back. Pass.
Camera keeping up. Can he? Yep.
Maceo Vroman. 1 tackle, 2, 3, 4, and is brought down at the 2-yard line.
Look at the effort by Maceo. I'm telling you, the kid's so fast, our camera crews can't even keep up with the guy. We're about a 2-second delay before we pick it up. Let's take a look here. And there's a better view. Maceo breaks that 1 tackle, makes another guy miss. I'm telling you, you're not going to wrap him up with 1 guy and 1 arm.
Makes 3 to 4. The 4th person actually brought him down. Made 3 guys miss before and just couldn't get a little enough to get into the end zone. And Max Cooper has shown a lot more confidence in throwing the ball the last 2 weeks.
That takes us all the way down to the 4-yard line where Max will keep it himself and scores for another Rambler touchdown. Listen to that cannon.
We saw him last week kind of show confidence well as running the football. And that most quarterbacks in the NFL and college can run and pass, and he's shown both these last 2 weeks. I believe that's his 3rd rushing touchdown in the last 2 games.
Amazing, and that's just taking the win right out of the Lakers. I mean, they are really putting up a fight, really trying to get back into this game and claw their way to at least a point. But our defense putting on another early shutout in this first half. Amazing.
Dalton Gardner, again, better week this week. 3 for 3 on extra points. That's got to feel huge for him.
All right, we're going to take a break, folks. We're going to be right back on RSN Friday Night Football. We are here, Rambler Sports Network.
From our facility in beautiful Boyne City, Michigan, the Farley Calendar Company promotes, produces, and distributes customized promotional products across the nation. By using vegetable-based inks, 8-point Carolina-coated paper, and spiral wire binding along with high-resolution imagery, we ensure that you will purchase or give a quality product that you can be proud to attach your name to. We certainly are. Choosing the Farley Calendar Company puts a dedicated partner in your corner, helping you to promote and grow your business or simply assist in personal and functional gift giving. Put our over 41 years of experience and craftsmanship to work for you, day after day, year after year. Only at Boyne City's own Farley Calendar Company.
We're back on the Rambler Sports Network where Max Cooper just took it in for another rushing touchdown this year. There's a look at our QB right there, punching it in from 4 yards out on the keeper. And that brings his rushing touchdowns to 3 this year. Dalton Gardner, perfect on the night. Well, except the one. He did, wasn't his fault entirely. A bad snap there. Bad hold by Mac Alexander, but since then been perfect on the night with extra points.
Yeah, it's not been his fault. That was a slippery ball, as we've talked about all night, and the ones Dalton has actually got to kick, he's been perfect.
Well, folks, at your home, please don't go away. I know it's a 35-0 ball game, but boy, do we have a special presentation for you at halftime tonight. We have homecoming celebration. We have the crowning of our new queen this year, our old queen, our last year's queen, will be coming in to do that. Last year's king will be via Skype, so he'll be tuning in with us from Germany. So you definitely don't want to miss what we have to offer at halftime.
Tanner Cruzel kicks off for the 6th time this half, returned by Mac Ewing, and is brought down by that host of Ramblers. Cole Butler, Luke Sage, Mac Alexander, and I believe I saw Jacob Brewer in there on the tackle as well.
And you'll see here what I've been talking about. Glen Lake, I like the fight that they bring. They're down 35-0. Of course, the wind is totally out of their sail, but watch how they approach this football and watch how they fight during this series. But our defense just hard to put up some yards against.
The coaches of the Boyne City varsity football team, Mark McShane.
Coach McShane, Coach Applin, Coach Bricker, outstanding unit of coaches.
Wilcher will drop back. He's got to scramble once again. He's going to try to find room. Tanner Cruzel.
Still just playing field out there. Just, playground football almost. And
throws it up, and it's incomplete. Mac Alexander, we saw him last week deflect a couple passes, and there he was there on the coverage. Way to stick with the receiver.
Tony Cutler tweeting in. Tony, I was just talking about that, how you escorted Nino on the field. That was a great honor. It was very important to Nino, his first year here in Boyne City, coming overseas, and have a role model like yourself to look up to. And I'm sure you guys stay in touch all the time. Tony down in Iowa made a run at state representative for the Republican Party. So, Tony, wish you luck as you continue your political career. We sure miss you in the studio.
Wilcher throws an incomplete in and out of the hands of number 20, David Grubsbenick. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Ramblers, and I thought with all this rain there wouldn't be much passing, but here in this second quarter we've seen it pick up.
Yeah, I think Glen Lake has to change their playbook a little bit if they want to get back into some scoring position. Obviously, the running up the middle is not working. And we talk about this. We talked about it last week, too, how they try to run on the outside of this defense, and just no luck there. So teams are looking to, let's see if we can pass against this defense. And, well, we might see a little bit more of that with a 35-0 deficit here.
And with that 35-0 deficit, I see they're going to keep Max Cooper out of the game. Number 40, James Roberson, in at linebacker. Wilcher will drop back pass complete to number 13, which will bring up a 1st down. Duke Angers, and I think that's Glen Lake's first down of the game.
Not many. If that is their first one, they, again, looking to pass the ball. They're looking to find some success there, as they have not found success on the ground game.
As we said, many players getting a break with this big lead, most of the starters. Jeff Miller over there on the left side, number 23 at safety. Wilcher will drop back, scrambles towards us, throws it up. Picked off, Dalton Gardner, and he's got blockers.
Look at that camera view there. Dalton Gardner down the sideline, breaks several tackles. Almost Dalton goes in the end zone. He's about 15 yards away. You can see the look on his face is one as if, coach, almost had it. Jennifer Carson tweeting to us from the West Coast. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, we are too, rooting for an undefeated season. That would be a back-to-back undefeated year. That would be great to see. And, Dominic, we talked about the passing game of Glen Lake looking to move the ball, and they had success on that 1st down. But along with those passes comes that. You have the threat of those interceptions.
I believe that's our 3rd interception of the season. Malik Smith, Max Cooper, and now Dalton Gardner each all have one. Number 40, James Roberson on the carry. He stopped for a loss to no gain. It'll bring up 2nd down for the Ramblers. Like we said, with this big lead, Dalton Gardner, Mac Alexander, Malik Smith, Tanner Cruzel as well, I saw come out, giving them some breaks as we expected here in this big lead.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised either, Dominic, in the second half if we see Dalton Gardner come in a little bit at quarterback if this continues.
We saw him warming up here before the game, and kind of interesting. Logan Shulock on the carry, fumbled, but recovers it, luckily for the Ramblers.
Boy, I sure hope Coach gives him another chance at that, because that is one heck of a player right there. That kid can run the ball. He is dangerous if he has an open lane.
He is a sophomore that was brought up about second or third game into the season. So getting his first carries of the season here against this Glen Lake team.
His brother Dylan Shulock, running back for the 8th grade team, got a chance to watch him Tuesday. Another great player. And you can hear Tom Clemens in the background. That brings us to our halftime show, where we are going to take it to the field, where we're going to begin our halftime festivities. So the story of this first half so far, the story being that our defense doing what they've done all year, shutting out this offense and putting up 35 points of their own. I believe 3 of those touchdowns coming over on turnovers from Glen Lake. So the story in this first half, Glen Lake 0 points from their offense. Boyne City racking up 35 from a couple of players. Malik, 2 touchdowns on the night, punching it in with that lowered strong shoulder. We had Max Cooper rush in a touchdown, and then a fumble return for a touchdown.
Macy of Roman also with that long touchdown run up the middle, about 50, 60 yards. So everyone contributing here today.
All right, and we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back to Rambler Sports Network, our halftime homecoming ceremonies. So she ran away in a sleep.
Ever wonder what happens? What happens when? When life meets lake. When talent meets opportunity. When technology meets innovators. When business meets lifestyle. When school meets community. It's all what happens when you live Boyne.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rambler Sports Network. You are here at Earl Brotherston Field, and we are live on camera here from RSN, and we want to talk to you a little bit about our halftime ceremonies. So we want to welcome all you ladies and gentlemen to Homecoming 2014. This is the Queen's ceremony, so in a few short minutes, you will know the 2014 Homecoming Queen. The King ceremony takes place at the Homecoming Dance tomorrow night. The crowning is at 9 o'clock p.m. in the auditorium tomorrow night, and the community is welcome to attend the crowning of the King. Again, this year, each of the students were asked to select an inspirational staff member of Boyne City Schools to escort them onto the field. So as they enter tonight, they will be escorted by their honored staff person, and I will be telling you why they chose that person. Now, let's meet the court members. They will be entering from your left. Our first court member tonight is Queen candidate Taylor Caro. She is the daughter of Michael Caro and Jennifer Dietz. She is being escorted tonight by Mrs. Amy Hertel. Mrs. Hertel is her teacher in the high school, and Taylor selected Mrs. Hertel because she says, "You have made my life in high school experience so much fun. I know that if I am having a bad day, that coming to see you will put a smile on my face. Thank you, Mrs. Hertel, for your constant support."
Our second court member is King candidate Dalton Gardner. He is the son of Gary and Michelle Gardner. He's being escorted by Mr. Dave Hills. Mr. Hills is a teacher in the high school. Dalton selected Mr. Hills because you have taught me many life lessons. For example, nothing worth value ever comes easy. You have been a huge inspiration to be not only in athletics but in life in general.
Our third court member tonight is Queen candidate Brooke Fouché. She is the daughter of Chantal Fouché. She is being escorted tonight by Miss Mary Jo Powers. Miss Powers is a teacher in the elementary school, and Brooke selected Miss Powers because knowing someone like you has changed my life. Thank you so much for always being there for me and my family.
Our fourth court member tonight is King candidate Mac Alexander. He is the son of Kelly and Lisa Alexander. He is being escorted by Mr. Randy Calcaterra. Mr. Calcaterra teaches in the high school. Mac selected Mr. Calcaterra because of your attention to detail and the depth looking at everything. You have showed me the significance of respecting the process. Also, what a great photo, the tallest guy in school dwarfing a football player.
Always a reference there, Randy. Our fifth court member is Queen candidate Carly Crizel. She is the daughter of Ken Crizel and Lisa Crizel. She is being escorted tonight by Mrs. Susan Sharp. Mrs. Sharp is a teacher in our middle school. Carly selected Mrs. Sharp because you were a great mentor for me. You have inspired me to never be afraid of adventure and simply have fun. Think like a scientist and have a blast doing it.
Our sixth court member is King candidate Cole Butler. He is the son of Rick and Beth Butler. He's being escorted by Miss Sandra Clausen. Miss Clausen teaches in the high school. Cole selected Miss Clausen because you don't just teach us what is required, you teach us life lessons. You have influenced many lives. I aspire to one day teach as many lives as you have.
Our seventh court member tonight is Queen candidate Jessica Dowdy. She is the daughter of Alan and Julie Dowdy. She's being escorted tonight by Mr. Aaron Fritchie. Mr. Fritchie is a teacher in the high school. Jessica selected Mr. Fritchie because while learning English and grammar were huge components to my success, I also learned the importance of being an advocate for myself as a student. It has been an honor to be your student.
Our eighth court member tonight is King candidate Zach Napont. He is the son of Craig and Chrissy Napont. He is being escorted by Mr. Brad Klooster. Mr. Klooster teaches in our elementary school. Zach selected Mr. Klooster because you have had a huge impact on my life at a very young age. You had a big influence on my character and my involvement in athletics. Thanks for everything. I don't know where I'd be without you.
Our ninth court member tonight is Queen candidate Sydney McLeod. She is the daughter of Sean and Sean McLeod. She's being escorted tonight by Mr. Andy Bryant, who teaches in the high school. Sydney selected Mr. Bryant because you have made a huge impact in my life, not only as an awesome teacher, but as a mentor and a coach. You helped me to believe in myself in moments where achieving seemed like an impossible feat.
Our 10th court member tonight is King candidate Maceo Vroman. He is the son of Brian Vroman and Shelley and Billy Davis. He is being escorted by Mr. Dave Bricker. Mr. Bricker teaches in our middle school. Maceo selected Mr. Bricker because you've inspired students and adults for a few centuries at least. In all seriousness, you have been a great teacher, great coach, and a great friend to me, and I appreciate all you do.
Thank you, teachers, for making a difference in the education and lives of our homecoming court members and the entire student body here in our Boyne City Public School system. Joining me now in the press box is Sandra Clausen. She's fresh off being escorted on the field by Cole Butler. And Mrs. Clausen, we welcome you to the press box, and welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, Roger. At this point, the microphone would be normally turned over to the student council members on the field. However, this year our Queen ceremony will be a little unique. So, on the field, the student council representatives are Amanda von der Spelt and Peyton Bowman. Before I introduce last year's royalty, I would like you to know why the ribbons are black and gold. They are to honor the memory of Drake Hendershot, the young student athlete from Glen Lake that lost his life in August. The students at Boyne City High School wish to send their condolences to the students at Glen Lake High School. Now, to continue with our crowning, joining them on the field are 2013 homecoming royalty, homecoming queen, Kylie Hicks, and first runner-up, Zach Wandry. Now, before we intro our 2013 King, I want you to know what? Now, to continue with our crowning, sorry. We have a special guest who is joining us. The 2013 King, who lives far, far away, has joined us today for our homecoming festivities. Nino is with us live in Germany, where it is a much different time of day. Hi, Nino.
Hi.
What time is it over there in Germany?
Well, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning right now.
So you're up studying?
Well, no, I'm just kind of tired and watching TV. Watching the game, actually.
Nice, and it's good to see the Ramblers are up.
Yeah, the game has just been awesome so far.
Yes. It is a little wet here. Is it raining or is it nice in Germany?
Yeah, it is pretty nice. It has actually been pretty sunny so far, and we had a really nice day.
Excellent. We had a really rotten rainy day over here, but it was still activity day here, and I'm sure you remember activity day from last year, and what a crazy fun day that was for all the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So
I definitely enjoyed it last year.
Yes, it's a unique experience. So we are ready to proceed with the homecoming crowning for our Queen ceremony. Are you ready to help us out?
I'm so ready.
Excellent. So you have your script as far as what you're supposed to say, so go ahead and start there.
All right, so the first three runners-up in no particular order are Taylor Carroll, Brooke Fouché, Jessica Doughty, the first runner-up is Sydney McLeod. Homecoming queen is Carly Cruiser. All right.
As we congratulate our queen and her court members, we would also like to say thank you to Nino for being up in the middle of his morning to join us here in Boyne City to finish out his reign as king. So, Nino, it was great to have you here, and it was an amazing time. It's a really cool thing that we can do, and it makes another unique spot in Boyne City.
Well, thank you.
Enjoy Germany, and now you can go back to bed and finish your night.
I will.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in Bonn in 1 week.
Excellent. We look forward to seeing you back here.
Well, me too.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again to our homecoming queen for 2014, Miss Carly Crizel, ladies and gentlemen, and her court.
What a great group of kids. They're a great group of kids. They represent Boyne City High School very well. Proud to have them as our 10 court members.
And again, tomorrow night, community, you are welcome to come in at 9 o'clock in the auditorium where we will be crowning the king of this court tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. So please join us then.
That's correct. And I would also like to send a thank you out to Upsadaisy Floral for donating the Queen's flowers. And I think with that,
we're going to take it to the band. Mr. Ivy, Ben Forbes, is your band ready? And here we go, Boyne City Marching Band, ladies and gentlemen. Boyne City's marching band doing their version of a Disney theme, and I think we have a couple more numbers here.
The Rambler marching band will conclude our halftime performance with the riveting music about Captain Jack Sparrow, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
And that was our last number from the Boyne City Marching Band performing their Disney theme. Our drum major, Ben Forbes, leading that last number, a Pirates of the Caribbean theme.
Boyne City Ramblers getting stretched here for the second half, up 35-0. Glen Lake trying to hope to make some improvements.
Yeah, and you're taking a look back towards our home stands there. Amazing to see the stands filled. That's the first time you and I have got a chance to look at that, Dom, as we've been sitting up behind that press box. So we're going to bring a couple brought to you by tonight, starting with Shar M Intermediate School District, sponsoring tonight's RSN broadcast. Next up, if you could, please thank our team BCVI through your tweets tonight. They've done an amazing job bringing you a live feed from Nino, last year's king, all the way from Germany. And also Live Boyne. What are you living Boyne for? And that concludes our halftime ceremonies. Again, tonight's homecoming queen goes to Carly Crizel tonight. I believe runner-up was Sydney McLeod. And if you would like to know tomorrow's homecoming king, please come and join us in the high school auditorium at 9 o'clock, where our king will be crowned tomorrow. And king and queen traditionally will step out from the auditorium and take their first dance together. So we're taking a look at a team huddle there. Dominic, the story of our first half, kind of like last week's story of the first half, it was all Boyne City Ramblers. Boyne City Ramblers putting up 35 points. The first 2 touchdowns coming from turnovers from Glen Lake.
Yes, and they've actually had 2 more turnovers after that, which have led to Boyne City touchdowns and a 35-0 lead.
So 4 turnovers from the Lakers. We did have 1 turnover ourselves, but we got the ball right back. Glen Lake looking like they're starting to throw up some passing plays as they open up their passing playbook, making a first down or 2. And not before being picked off by Dalton Gardner there just before the halftime.
Yeah, Dalton adds a 3rd touchdown this season for the Ramblers, or 3rd interception, I correct myself there, for the Ramblers this season. As we talked earlier, Malik Smith and Max Cooper also have 1.
And very impressive story here in Boyne City. The number of flags from our team considerably down from last week. Last week we talked a lot about the yellow flags. Coach Hills was up in the press box. He talked about the number of flags that were laying all over the field. That being a point of emphasis during practice this week, and it's paying off. I mean, this has been a pretty clean game. Just a few, I believe only 2 flags for the Ramblers. So I am impressed with that. I'm sure the rest of the team is feeling the benefits of less penalties.
Yeah, I'm sure they paid for it dearly, from 15 to 20 penalties last week, and probably some tough practices, maybe some sprints, working on snaps and formations.
It's got to be tough being a player. Come off a huge win like last week, and you come out of the stadium feeling like you're on cloud 9. You go back to practice Monday, and coach says, hey, we got to get better.
Yeah.
We got to clean that up. That's just, not fair play. We're just out there looking sloppy, and you go back to practice thinking, hey, we're good. We're 5-0, and coach is telling us we got to get better.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. That's what's going to take this team deep into the playoff season. And Boyne City Ramblers looking tonight to clinch a playoff berth with their 6th win, would put them 6-0 overall, and in the conference also undefeated.
That was Boyne City's real first good test so far this season, was against the Traverse City Gladiators. And this is kicked deep to Maceo Vroman. He'll take the kickoff return, and he's got up the middle some room to run. Hurdles a guy and is brought down by 2 Lakers. And it'll bring up first down and 10 for the Ramblers, close to midfield. There, Maceo decides to take it instead of Dalton. Maceo, like we said earlier, has not had many kick returns after what he started off this season, and he wanted that one.
Our game ball brought in tonight by our cross-country team, part of the team, Trevor Day. He's also on our hero camera tonight.
Fumble.
Next
and
play
a
on
flag.
that.
Tanner Evans also on the cross-country team. Caitlin Banner, Corey Scope, helping us bring that ball in here tonight.
Trevor Day on our hero cam. I was trying to get to the point also that Lucas Day, his younger brother here, running the scoreboard for us. So the Day brothers doing a terrific job their first year on the team, BCVI. Only 3 returners on this production team. So we have Riley Meyer and Caden Coates and Zach Bailey coming back from last year's junior season, and a host of new recruits. And we have a former alum of the team BCVI sitting among us. Rainey McCune is in the studio.
Max will hand off to Malik. He comes far side, breaks one tackle. He's got room to run.
Heck of a block by Luke Sage.
He's on the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Malik. That ankle's looking good. His 3rd touchdown of the game.
And that play does not happen, Dominic, unless that block is contained. Watch Luke stick with number 5, and all Malik sees is 6 points.
Open field in front of him, and no one could bring him down. That ankle's got to be feeling pretty good because we saw his speed there.
Wow. Yeah, I think you were talking Malik's up to 85% last week. I'd say he's about 99 tonight.
Yeah, he's showing it too.
Yeah,
big hit, speed, everything. I believe that was a good kick by Dalton Gardner, which will make it 42-0 for the Ramblers, and a good start to the second half. Does not look like they're going to shut down like they did last week against Traverse City St. Francis.
I don't think so, and that was exactly the story of last week coming into the second half. The Gladiators last week putting up 6 points immediately on a kickoff return, which turned the tides, but not the case tonight, as Boyne City is matching their season average of about 42 points per game. That average, of course, went down a little bit last week, only putting up 28, but now we're right back up to our high-potent offensive scheme.
This is our 4th game with over 42 points scored, 49 against East Jordan, 42 against Charlevoix, 42 against Harbor, and now 42 against Glen Lake.
That Dominic Santina, he's like a walking stat board here. Take a look at our look at those cheerleaders. I couldn't think of what they were at first. They're all drinking hot cocoa. Looks like Cafe Sante's down there. The girl's trying to stay warm. Put down the pom-poms and grab me the hot cocoa.
Tanner Cruzel will kick off again. He's got to be getting tired with all those kicks and running down the field. And look at that, 12 carries now, 100 yards for Malik now on the ground.
Yeah, we reported earlier that Vroman was over 100 in the first quarter. And we have a missed kick right there from Angers. And he's off his feet.
Zach Bears with a big hit. And he's actually down. Oh, Carter Wilmot, excuse me.
Watch Carter just put Angers up over his head here. 13, short kick. He takes it, botches it, picks it back up, gets a lead block, and
whoop.
He's up and over.
Taking his feet out from underneath him. Luckily, he was able to hold on to the ball.
That's the way to do it, Wilmot.
Wilmot showing some speed to get down there.
Just taking a peek there at Coach Hill's son. He's a great quarterback on that 8th grade program, I'll tell you that.
Max Cooper back in at linebacker. Jeff Miller running across their screen from left to right. Wilcher will take it, roll towards us. Looking for some room to pass. Now he's got to scramble. Breaks 2 tackles, and Luke Sage meets him. Brought down by another host of Ramblers, Tanner Cruzel, Nick Hertz. And that pursuit to the football helps him out there.
Yeah, pure frustration on Wilcher there. You could see him looking downfield. He looked like he had one guy he was looking to, and that guy totally covered. And then the pursuit of the blue jerseys coming at him. He had nothing to do but run for it, and I think he went back maybe to about a 2-yard gain, possibly, maybe 3, according to Luke Day and his stat board here.
We've seen him scramble many times tonight, just not being able to get that ball out. And when we did, an interception by Dalton Gardner or a few incompletions. He'll hand off. and is brought down. Duke Angers on the carry. It'll bring up 3rd down. Looks like maybe Nick Hertz there helping him bring him down with the other host of Ramblers.
Nick Hertz, look at that jersey, drenched with rain. He's getting some action here in the 3rd quarter. And we hope to bring you a few more pictures, if we can, of our Ramblers coming down to the elementary building. As we do traditionally, the Ramblers come down and kind of share their experiences with our kindergartners.
Wilcher under center, drops back, looking to run this time on 3rd down. He's got some blocks, but it looks like Mac Alexander gets his foot, stops his momentum, and lets that Ramblers pursuit to the football bring him down.
All right, we're going to take a little moment here and watch some of our Ramblers down at the other elementary building. And here's Autumn Vesbuskas doing that, I don't know, looked like a chokehold move or something, putting this young man to sleep. Just what Mrs. Fitzpatrick would like to see. Look at the faces. Look at those guys look happy about those Ramblers being in their room.
Logan Shulock.
Logan Shulock probably haven't read a book like this in years. But this boy loves them and probably loves the story.
It is 1st down as Culture's run was good enough for a 1st down. He's complete and brought down by Mac Alexander. On the reception was David Grubsbenick. And Malik Smith, as you see on the screen, has 3 touchdowns.
What a night for Malik. Breakaway night for him. He's been pretty contained last 3 games, large part due to that injury, but putting on a nice show for us all tonight, showing us that he's going to make a strong run here at the end of this season with 3 games remaining in our schedule.
I saw there on that replay, number 58, Jacob Brewer, coming hard at Wilcher, trying to get him in the backfield, but was able to get the pass off in time.
Number 23 in motion for the Lakers.
Wilcher will roll to his right, and he's going to keep it, and is met by 58, Jacob Brewer.
You can watch 23, his assignment to come across and
Jacob Brewer and Nick Hertz.
block Jacob Brewer, but he gets into the backfield. 23 missing that block, and that play stopped being short. Take a look at Dylan Shulock. The girl looks like she's enjoying the story. It looks like Maceo making another hero. That's our own Mrs. Wildman's son, getting a football padded up.
Mac Alexander, Luke Sage, Cole Butler.
Where'd that kid go? He's gone. I think they
Looks like-
lost him in the jersey.
Looks like Luke's trying to find him.
All right, we're back to the game here where we've got number 44 squeaking through a little gap.
Breaks a tackle, and there, as you said, Logan Shulock on the tackle.
I want to thank Abby Hills today for taking those shots of our ball players down at the elementary building. Appreciate that, Abby. Great shots, and maybe you can explain some of those to me later.
Nick Hertz has 4 tackles here in the second half.
All right. Nick getting into the game here and making his presence felt as the Lakers are trying to bring it around to that right side, but Nick's having no part of this.
4th down and 4. Nick Hertz is part of this VI program, so good day for Nick Hertz getting some playing time.
Yeah, we're zooming in on him. He's the hero, looking to push back his guy.
Oh, it's a fake or a bad
Nick
snap.
Hertz getting in on that, causing some pressure, and
Luke Sage will bring down the punter, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Ramblers.
Can we get a replay of that, Corey? Watch Nick come off that defensive line here and watch him push his guy, 22, straight back. Or 54, but boy.
Luke Sage being able to stick with it, bring him down, and Ramblers will take over. This is just as costly as their turnovers. A turnover on downs, and it'll be short field for the Ramblers once again. Nick Hertz may be a little shaken up on the play.
Take a look here. I think they finally shook that young man out of that jersey. There he is, wearing a Michigan Wolverines outfit. Wonder if that makes Tom Needhammer happy.
Max Cooper under center. So far we haven't seen Dalton there yet. Malik Smith on the carry. Ooh, takes a shot to that leg and is brought down after a gain about 3 or 4.
Nice wrap up by Jacob Robinson. Good clean tackle.
Wondering about that ankle. I don't think this is an injury here. Just giving him a break with this big lead as Roman comes off as well.
Dominic and I are going to let you hear a few sounds from the sidelines as we send it down to Mary Anderson and that big new piece of technology.
Nice cut, Logan. Nice cut, Logan.
All right, Logan Shulock there. We were hoping he'd get some more action because he's a heck of a player. Hey, former student of mine, Colin Olvin, the fact that I can watch the Ramblers from college tonight is awesome. Isn't that a sweet treat, Colin? Thanks for tweeting in to us, and keep in touch, buddy. Hope to hear some good news from you coming out of college. You can hear the Lakers from our sideline saying offensive false start as they cross the line. That's probably only our third penalty tonight.
Heard Colin Sutterth and Connor Beebe trying to say that the Lakers jumped before they did, but it was on us.
Gotta love the calm demeanor of Coach Hills. Even in last week's dramatic overtime, he keeps his composure. But you take a look there at another flag, possibly clock running out there, showing a little bit of frustration there that time. But peek at Cora Hauger, our water girl. She's been doing that for a long time. Her grandpa, Coach Bricker, and look at that hair. I think Mac's got longer hair than that girl does. Nice, nice. Lieutenant Dan.
Max Cooper on the other side.
I think Max is happy to be back down in kindergarten.
Lee Rainey.
Just chilling. Hey, it's almost nap time, isn't it? It's Andy Bryant's son right there looking at a muscular Tanner Crizel going, boy, do I have to wear that when I get to high school? All right, and they're back to this amazing picture here. All right, you're hearing sounds from our sideline as we get set for what appears to be a third down and about 7.
Cooper under center sends Jeff Miller in motion. He'll keep it, and he's going to be brought down and sacked.
And we're going to take a listen to this once more. I don't know how I got so lucky to work with Joe Buck, but it sure is a treat to work with such young talent, and hopefully one day when he does become the next Joe Buck, he'll call me up to the NFL, and maybe I can get into my second career. Remember that, Dominic, please.
All right.
Okay.
This is Logan Shulock on the carry and is brought down.
All right, we're going to take a listen one more time to this play call from Coach Hills.
You want Ottoman or me? Right tackle. Stay low. Go, Cole, get in there. Let's go. Hey, someone stay. Someone. Watch the ball. Nick, you can go. Get up there. Right. Cover three.
Take a listen to that. Sounds of the game brought to you right from the line of scrimmage. You can hear the the substitutions. You can hear the players thinking through the next play. I mean, that's amazing as we're bringing in our seconds and our thirds, and so getting a lot of action down on the field here with a 42-0 lead here against Glen Lake.
Glen Lake has an injured player on our side of the field. He looks like he's in some serious pain.
Brooke tweeting in, I wish Petoskey had live games. Great work. We are setting quite the standard here at Boyne City, as I believe I hear week to week how many people are just impressed with what we're doing here.
And if I looked at that right, it looked like it might have been number 22, Jacob Robinson, down on the play.
Not to be confused with our very own Jacob Robinson, who plays JV and will be one heck of a player when he comes up to varsity next year.
We've called his name quite a few times tonight.
Hey, there's a shot from the band. Hey, Ben Forbes, get these guys pumped up here. We need to hear that fight song one more time tonight. There's the band right there. Some in rain gear, some shedding the rain gear, and that's why the band loves their time together, because they all have a little bit of fun like that. All right, injured Laker walking back to the sideline, stopping the clock here in the third quarter with 1:27 left. Before we go into the fourth quarter, it is 2nd and 5. Lakers on their offensive drive here, looking to make something happen. I would expect probably a pass here, Dominic, as they look to pass here a couple times.
We have seen that a lot more out of the Lakers offense, struggling to kind of run the ball with that pursuit of defense, but they've been
struggling to pass the ball too, haven't they?
A lot of scrambling from their quarterback, number 7, Travis Wilcher.
We have Autumn, I believe, checked in for this play.
He'll keep it himself, Will Wilcher, and takes a hit kind of high.
Speaking of Autumn, she's in on that play. Stepped across the line, got back in time. Ball was snapped, and she's in on that play. She's right there, number 62, with the pigtail hanging out.
3rd down and 1 for the Lakers. Under a minute left to go here in the third quarter. Actually, that'll bring up a 1st down and 10 as Wilcher was able to get across the 1st down line.
You can see our famous hill where you will normally see all kinds of kids playing their own football game and rolling down the hill and beating each other up with water bottles. But oh, and there's a few right there. The rain bringing
Wilcher will drop back. He's got trouble from Jacob Brewer. On the run, throws complete, brought down by Carter Wellmont and James Roberson.
And I believe that's going to move the chains once again. That's another 1st down for the Lakers. And they're putting together a nice little drive here as they cross the 50-yard line. Luke Sage almost getting off his feet and tipping that ball.
Ramblers 42.
All right, we're going to take a quick break from Dominic and I. Listen to our high school varsity team sing the ABCs.
The Rambler volleyball team will be in action on Yes, I know my. Yes, I know.
I meant we were going to listen to the band first. That's the musical clip we were going to. The professionals here, and then Mark Pontoni, our new teacher at the high school, tweeting in, I agree, not even the rain can slow these Ramblers down. All right, that's a little clip from our band, and now a clip from our high school varsity football players singing the ABCs.
Yes, I know my. Yes, I know my alphabet. Do you know your alphabet? Yes, I know my alphabet. A, B, C. A, B, C. D, E, F. D, E, F. G, H, I. G, H, I. J, K, L. J, K, L. M, N, O. M, N, O.
So now I think you know your ABCs. Tell me, do you know your alphabet? Yes, I know my alphabet. Do you know your alphabet? Yes, I know my alphabet. Do you know your alphabet? Yes, I know my alphabet.
That's better than the Cupid Shuffle right there. You can see Malik trying to make a new dance out of that song. He'll be teaching those kindergartners those moves next time.
First down and 10 for the Lakers. Wilcher drops back, rolls left, throws. Nowhere, even close. Number 23 looked to be in the area. That's Tony Duperon, but threw it out of bounds about 10 yards downfield.
Dominic, I would imagine Glen Lake coach Jerry Angers has had to reach deep inside his playbook. Probably not going according to plan. They probably were looking for a little more balance, but run game not working tonight. Pass game, I think we figured that out too. And that's why the 0 points up on the board for Glen Lake has Boyne City putting on a dominant defensive show tonight.
Wilcher under.
Fumble.
And the Ramblers have it again.
Fumble recovered by the Ramblers.
And that certainly takes a little more wind out of the Lakers' sail as they were looking to put together somewhat of a drive, 2 first downs in a row, but another fumble on the play, and that brings up 4.
I think that's
5 for the 5 turnovers for the Lakers if you include that interception.
Yeah.
Certainly the rain a big factor tonight. Ramblers a turnover themselves, but a lot better on the ball control on our end.
James Roberson on the carry. Gain of about 2 or 3. We'll bring up second down for the Ramblers.
I want to mention a few names from our Rambler football team members that are on the field, but a huge part of this broadcast tonight, Malik Smith, Abby Hills, and Mac Alexander, Nick Hertz, Gabe Hawley, and Kevin Kinner, and Colin Suttereth, all down on the field playing the game tonight, but certainly a big part of this broadcast. And there's a fumble on our play.
Looks like Zach Bears was able to recover it, and I'm sure James Roberson did not want that at all. Getting some carries in here in this late stages of the game, big lead, and coach puts the trust in you. Don't want to fumble the football here.
More of our Ramblers Sports Network broadcast members, technical director Caden Coates bringing you all the different angles, and up there in the crow's nest, I believe that is our hero camera, Trevor Day. Is that you, Trevor? Give us a wave if that is. There he is. And right next to him, it looks like Alan. All right, that is Alan Bayless. Yep.
Ooh, Max Cooper on the keep gets spun around and knocked down by number 44, Joe Jacklin. That'll bring up fourth down for the Ramblers.
You've seen many amazing replays tonight by Corey Redmond. He's up here in the press box with us staying dry, and got a couple of great peeks at who's fumbling the ball, how did that ball get fumbled, and how many touchdowns did Malik Smith make tonight. There's Mary Anderson. She looks a little dazed and confused. Hi, Mary. Can you hear me? She's listening to the game is what she's listening to.
Fourth down, and Dalton Gardner will punt it away. Good punt. You hear poison from Glen Lake, and Mac Alexander will touch it.
Nice punt from Dalton Gardner there. Boy, that looked like to be nearly a 55-yard punt. Excellent.
Good for Dalton. Extra points and punting a lot better this week. Glad
hey,
to
you're
see
taking
that.
a look at our wireless camera there. I believe that's Tanner Evans on the wireless tonight. Tanner, if you could turn around and wave at us. Hey, buddy, nice job. He was up in the crane last week. Maybe a little afraid of the lightning tonight. Said, hey, I'll stay on the ground tonight. But I believe there is someone in the crane tonight. And Zach Bailey up at the top giving us some top aerial views. We'll take a shot of him in just a moment.
Wilcher under center. He'll turn right or left and then come back towards us and is brought down by, looks like, number 77, Nick Hertz.
Also number 58, Jacob Brewer. And there he is. Zach, give us a wave up there, buddy. Here he is. Up there. I bet he got a little wet. I believe I heard him make a comment about the weather. Probably not the most fun place to be. All the tweets coming in tonight. Caitlin Banner in charge of that for our Twitter feed, bringing it to you. And Corey Scope also directing some of the text system issues that we have. Thank you, Corey Scope.
Wilcher on the carry, gains of about 15, brought down by number 44, Dalton Gardner.
Working alongside Lucas Day, who's also bringing you stats right there on the scoreboard. That 3rd and 2.
Is Dominic Archie.
Luke. Oh, is that Dom doing that tonight?
Dom's helping him out tonight as well.
All right. Thank you, Dominic Archie. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on RSN Friday Night Football. Please join us back on the Rambler Sports Network.
Join the Race to Fight Brain Disease at the Boyne City Triathlon the Sunday morning before Labor Day. Athletes can compete in a sprint distance duathlon or sprint and Olympic distance triathlons. Come race at an amazing venue, receive great swag, large cash prizes, and help raise funds for neurological research at the Mayo Clinic. For more information and registration, visit BoyneCityTriathlon.com. Sponsored by Boyne USA, Dr. Danny Schwartz Dental Clinics, and Live Boyne.
Sports Network, where the Lakers are taking their second down shot here. Tip ball.
Oh, James Roberson into Jeff Miller. He's got room. Wilcher will deliver a big hit, almost helmet to helmet there, but a nice deflection by James Roberson into the hands of Jeff Miller. Second interception this game, 4th of the season, and another turnover. I think that's 6 now.
6 on the night. That was a heads-up play by Jeffrey Miller. Got a nice little return on that, too. Jeffrey, nice wheels there, buddy. All right, Glen Lake, 5 turnovers, so we were off 1. 5 turnovers, that's 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles. We counted 4 fumbles, but, hey, either way you look at it, that's too many in this game. That's too many in any game. You're not going to win a game with that many turnovers.
James Roberson now getting the carry, runs for a gain of about 8, and he'll bring up second down for the Ramblers. Ramblers lead 42-0 with 4.5 minutes to go.
We're looking at a 2nd and 4 here. Ramblers down near their end zone once again. Logan Shulock on the move.
Big hit there by Mac Alexander. Good block, and then Logan staying on his feet, making a bunch of Lakers tackle him and bring him down just short of the 10-yard line.
Hey, before the conclusion of this game, want to make sure you know that the broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Boyne City High School. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution and the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and Boyne City High School. Stay tuned after the game. We have about just over 4 minutes, but I believe we're going to get at least one interview in the press box here and see who we can get up. Jeff Miller with his interception tonight. And who was that on the other interception, Dominic?
That was Dalton Gardner.
Dalton Gardner with a pick also. Almost a pick 6 as he ran that back quite a few yards.
James Roberson on the carry, getting some grass in his helmet. Gain of maybe 1 to 2 yards will bring up second down for the Ramblers.
You can see the delay in the huddle as coaches just got to be thinking, let's get out of this rain, let's run this clock down, I think we've got this game in the bag. Boyne City with their 5th shutout on the season.
Just under 3 minutes left to go here in this game. Surprised Dalton Gardner has not taken a snap under center yet tonight.
Me too. Yeah, I think we made that prediction earlier that we might see that, and Max playing the entirety of this game.
James Roberson getting the carry again. Gets stopped for a gain of about 1 to maybe none. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Ramblers.
Number 20 there, a huge tackle, David Grzbinick. I apologize there if I got that wrong. But a good tackle, good clean tackle, and he's still playing this game at 100%. Nice to see that competition level stay high. Brings up a 3rd and 9 for the Ramblers. Clock ticking down to near 2 minutes.
Cooper under center, sends Mack in motion. He'll get the ball far side. He's got a gap. Spins, brought down by a host of Lakers, and about the 5-yard line is tackled.
Yeah, he takes quite a hit from Andrew Lindemann, who's down. I'm sorry, yeah, that is Andrew Lindemann, who put on a nice pop, but slow getting up himself after that play. Max says, hey, give me some more, coach. I want to score this one. I think he's also waving there that we got a 1st down on that play. Take a look at Max on this. Got a nice block from Dylan Shulock there. Logan, sorry.
I believe this is 1st down and goal for the Ramblers from about the 4 to 5 yard line. Cooper under center. He's going to keep it himself, and he is in. Touchdown, Ramblers.
Rushing touchdown for our big QB, Max Cooper. 42-0, putting more points on the board. Take us to 48-0 here.
If Dalton makes this extra point, this will tie the season high for points scored. And Max now 4 touchdowns rushing in the last 2 games.
Is he getting better, Dominic, right before our eyes? I mean, we're watching this quarterback mature, become a leader. He's taking the ball on some really botched plays and making something out of nothing. His arm looks strong. He's got a great stiff arm, too, when he turns that corner and someone's in his way. So watching the maturity of Max Cooper develop into that quarterback spot very well.
High snap. Mack will keep it himself. He's got room. He's in. 50-0. Mack takes a big hit. Slow to get up.
And that surpasses our season high of 49 points. 50-0. Ramblers taking an impressive lead tonight, dominating the Lakers all over the ball. Offense, defense, this looked like a design play.
I don't know. It looked like maybe a little too high of a snap. I know Mack wanted a touchdown earlier. There he just gets a 2-point conversion, but I think he didn't even think second about it after that first time. They had that little bobbled snap. He wanted it, knew he wasn't going to get it down in time for Dalton, and took it himself.
Great heads-up play, Mac Alexander, and putting 2 points on the board instead of 1, bringing us season-high 50 points to the Ramblers. And he gives us a thumbs up to the crew. Not a single hero tonight, Dominic, as, you know, the ball was spread all over this offense. You know, if we could pick any, you got to go with probably Malik Smith with 3 rushing touchdowns. You had Maceo Vroman scoring a touchdown. Max Cooper, 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, how many ways can you spread this offense around? Coach Hill's showing the diversity of this offense as they appear to be getting stronger and better as the year progresses.
Actually, I just remembered Max actually has 3 touchdowns in this game, as he got the first touchdown on that fumble recovery and ran it back 20 yards for a touchdown.
That's right. That's right.
So that's going to end the game. No kickoff here from Tanner Cruzel. The final score will be 50-0 Boyne City. They're 6-0, making history for the 2nd straight game as they finally beat Glen Lake, and they are going to the playoffs.
Tony Cutler tweeting in, back to the basics, and that basic thing is score more points than your opponent. If you could shut them out, hey, that's even better. Putting up another goose egg in the category for the opponent team. That's very impressive for the Ramblers, and this has to bring our, I haven't done the math yet, but season total offensive points well over 200, and the opponents 20.
Oh, yeah, with ease.
Malik with 110 rushing yards on the night. He's looking great, looking stronger. Great decision by the coaches to keep him well rested, starting at that Harbor Springs game, keeping him rested for another 2 weeks after that, and it's starting to pay dividends as we get into the thick of our conference play. 3 more games left, and we have Benzie Central next.
Grayling, and then I believe Elk Rapids.
So we've got some tough games ahead of us, and good to see this defense putting together another shutout tonight. I'd say the Flags stayed off the field, so that was an impressive victory in my book to see that. And here you see Coach Hills.
Got to be much more happier tonight. 2 to 3 penalties maybe compared to 15 to 20 last week, and a lot bigger score on the scoreboard.
Giving a hug to his daughter Abby Hills, and there's Coach Wilmot, JV coach.
Mr. Bricker, Coach Bricker.
All celebrating a nice win. Very nice, impressive win. And we're going to take it down to the field for just a minute and get a little glimpse of the team huddle and check the celebration out from our team as Coach Hills brings them in for a little post-game talk. We'll see if we can bring a player up to the booth here in a minute, get a post-game interview. Hopefully, still waiting to see if Tom Needhammer will join us. Maybe we can get him down here and talk about his induction to the Hall of Fame tonight. But, again, my name's Roger Coates, Dominic Santina by my side. Folks, he's just a junior, making his debut last week on RSN. Another impressive call tonight, Dominic. I think when you get to that Joe Buck status, as Cutler said, you'll be all over the NFL one day. We're going to take a quick break here, folks. We'll be right back on the Rambler Sports Network for hopefully some post-game interviews.
Why do I like to live Boyne?
Why do I like to live Boyne? Why am I proud to live Boyne?
I like to live Boyne because of places like the Avalanche Mountain Reserve. I feel lucky to have such a beautiful and cool place so close that provides the community with such fantastic opportunities for exercise and outdoor activities. My name is Garrett Fogo and I run cross country and am involved in DECA here at Boyne City High School.
Thought there was no better way to do that than to put on the striped shirt and pick up a whistle and stop complaining about the officials and go do something about it.
And there was guys that were nice enough to do it and volunteer their time when I was a kid coming through school, so I'm just paying it forward.
Initially, I got into officiating because I was a coach and I wanted to learn more about our sport. Now I officiate because I want to make a difference.
You can be a referee.
What up, homies? That's Malik Smith. I am Boyne Tuck. And this is Rambler Sports Network.
We're back on the Rambler Sports Network. You're taking a look at the players on the field as they celebrate their post-game victory. And here in the studio with me now is our latest recipient to the Boyne City Alumni Hall of Fame wall. Tom Needhammer is with us. Tom Needhammer, tell me about your role in this game tonight, as I know you sit above us up in the perch. What is it that you do up there anyway?
Well, for many years I've been, Kevin Fitzpatrick and myself have been the team stats for varsity football. So we have it kind of nice because rain, we're always in the drive booth upstairs, and we've done it for a long time, and we have a lot of fun.
Another impressive stat that I heard as we heard the call from the field from Tom Clemens saying your stats and why you deserve this Alumni Hall of Fame is 37 years coaching. Tom Needhammer with us in the studio. Talk about all those years and what that meant to you.
Well, not quite 30. I taught 30 years, so I had actually, when I coached multiple seasons, I actually coached high school sports for 57 seasons. So not years, but 57 seasons of high school coaching.
Okay, and what type of sports?
And that covered girls basketball, boys basketball at all levels, and earlier in my career some track and cross country, and finished with some softball, JV softball at Boyne City.
Tom Needhammer here with us in the studio, receiving the Alumni Award for the Hall of Fame, and your picture will be on the wall. And talk to me a little bit about what's most impressive about getting that award. How do you feel about, being on that wall? What is it that stands out for you?
Well, I was totally surprised, totally caught off guard, and I'm totally honored and humbled. It's an honor because there's just so many great people up there, and it was a lifestyle that my family, my three daughters went through school, my wife taught at school, and so we were just a team. My family was always at school, and if I was in the gym coaching or at the football field coaching, my wife was, doing the same thing. She was at school also, and my three daughters were probably doing stats or playing point guard or something. So it was definitely a family honor, and just some great people that are committed to our community.
Absolutely.
And that's what's fun about being a part of a small community, is that you're totally entrenched into the community from your job. It's where you work, it's where you play, it's where you live. It's an honor.
And those of you that don't know, check it out. In the Hall of Fame, you'll see exactly what Tom's talking about. A lot of great community members, and a lot of what they do has made a huge impact in this town and in our public school system. Tom, I want to thank you and congratulate you. Thanks for coming in. Tom Needhammer, ladies and gentlemen, our newest inductee into the Hall of Fame.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, folks, we're going to take it to Malik Smith, and Dominic Santina is going to put on the headset. Malik's going to put on the other pair, and we're going to interview our 3-touchdown comeback player of the game. He's looking great, folks, and here is Dominic and Malik.
Okay, Malik Smith is now in the press box, and we saw that we've known that your ankle's been hurting, but how well is it right now?
It's feeling pretty good right now, man. I just wanted to play some football. Like, first game, we blew them out, so I didn't really get to play much. Then Charlotte, I got hurt, and I didn't get to play Harbor. And then Kingsley just wasn't the same, coming back. And so, same with TC, I was still a little scared to, go hard on it. But now I just feel fully confident, and I'm just ready to play.
We'll check out a couple replays here on RSN. Here, Max hands off to you and break a tackle there, and you're off to the races. Looks like that ankle's good enough.
Oh, yeah.
No one can catch you, and you're in.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, I like that one.
There it is again.
Got that, sucker. Yeah.
3 touchdowns. So you haven't, like you said, you've been hurt the last couple of games, so it must have felt good to have those 3 touchdowns.
It did. I just wanted to come play my heart out and get back, play for my squad, and it's just good to be back.
We got one more touchdown here from you.
One more? All right. Might as well show the other one, too.
win.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Malik Smith. Oh.
Right.
Now we can talk. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next. Thank you, Malik. See you next game.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Hey. Oh. All right. Tune in next time on the Rambler Sports Network.
Like the